Call to order 7 p.m. City of Hazel Park City Council meeting, May 24, 2016. Call to order. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Invocation, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. LaCuro.
Thank you, Madam. Holy Spirit, source of all life, we gather together as the elected officials of our community, charged by the people to discern our future together. We are a diverse body brought together by the same Spirit. We pray that we will be faithful to the work at hand, to set aside our own personal agendas, to seek out the greater good. Open our minds and our hearts to listen in for your will for us and bestow upon us your wisdom and grace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of agenda.
So move, Mayor.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Mr. Klobuchar, Budget, Truth, and Taxation.
Yes, Madam Mayor, you have before you the Budget and Truth in Taxation public hearing that you are required to hold. This year's budget for the City of Hazel Park. You have it before you.
Mayor, motion to approve the,
First, you need to open the
sorry. That's
public
all.
hearing.
I missed that one.
Public hearing. Anyone wishing to discuss the City of Hazel Park budget for fiscal year 2016, 2017, or the Truth in Taxation hearing? Seeing no one, Madam Mayor, you may close the public hearing. Madam Mayor, members of council, before you vote on this budget, I would like to tell you that, again, this budget was unexpectedly tight because of expenditures we cannot control related to our city's pension system. As you all know, the City of Hazel Park participates in the Michigan Employee Retirement System, or MERS. MERS has changed its actuarial assumptions in such a way that it has caused our costs to rise dramatically in terms of participating in that system. Now, please understand they do this because it is their fiduciary responsibility to do so, because they need to act to ensure the health of the system. However, when they change those actuarial assumptions, it increases the cost to the City of Hazel Park. So again, we already had Representative MERS in to meet with our union leaders to discuss with them the implications of that. And the net result for this is, again, was an unexpectedly tight budget. Our costs just in the past couple of years, since we passed SMORSA, so less than 2 years, they have already risen by $400,000. So this is a significant increase in cost, and it will be a race between the City of Hazel Park's continued viability and paying off the ice arena, which will give us another shot in the arm in 2023. So we'll do what we can to control those costs, but pension costs, you are not going to control those, okay? Those are obligations that you have that are protected by the Constitution that you will be forced to pay for. We will do what we can in other areas to control costs as best we can, but again, Michigan's system of municipal finances, and you can finish the statement for me, fundamentally broken. So again, we'll be continuing to pressure the legislature to make changes, and you're starting to see more and more people now acknowledging the problems with this system of municipal finance, that it is locking older established communities basically into a pathway to bankruptcy. Now, we've avoided that, and we're in a little better position than some other communities of our size and taxable value per capita, because our residents have worked with us and they've passed millages that we need to keep our city going. But again, this is still tight. So it's there, it's passed, and it will enable all of our departments to continue operating at what is now full strength. But it is not what we would like, and we are not able to purchase the equipment we would like, nor make the types of infrastructure repairs that we would like to make.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
Question for the administration. The last statistical information that I looked at, you're talking just about Michigan in terms of the state funding for municipalities. My understanding is that in every state, the state's subsidy or return of local government's money has gone up almost in double digits in most states and decreased in Michigan.
Michigan is dead last in terms of its funding for municipalities. We have the worst system of municipal finance in the United States of America. Funding for cities has gone up in every state in the union except for the state of Michigan. We have had a dramatic decrease. Okay, Mr. Selman, well before he was a councilman the second time, coined the term municipalicide. That is what the state of Michigan is committing with our local units of government. It's an absolute disgrace.
And they just don't react to that.
They simply don't care. And they don't care primarily as a result of partisan politics and who represents which areas of the state of Michigan.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
it should be pointed out that the governor and other state officials take a lot of pride in the fact that their balanced budgets are really wonderful, and they do it on the backs of cities, villages, townships, and counties.
That is a completely accurate statement, sir. They have balanced their budget on our backs for over 10 years.
Well, they've been kicking the ball down the road for a while. Since the Headley Proposal A in 1994, that was a quick Band-Aid. And it was supposed to be about an 6 to 8 year fix before they actually faced the issue that they should have corrected. And they never gotten back to it.
Nope. And again, they can point the finger, but it's up to us
We have to look-
to hold them accountable at this point. So again, I bring before you a general fund budget of $14,435,000 and a total budget with the component funding units of total budget items including DDA, water and enterprise funds, Ice Arena, 43rd District Court, and other various funds, including the downtown development and debt retirement of $30,841,000.
Mayor, motion to approve the budget for the 2016-17 of Hazel.
Support. With a comment. As I mentioned earlier, the state has balanced their budget for the last 10 years, as the city manager has indicated. We've balanced our budgets because of the wonderful support that the residents of Hazel Park have given to our city government, and I, for one, am very grateful to them, and they are a big part of why we have a balanced budget.
Sir, without their support and without their willingness to pass those millages, the city of Hazel Park would have been under state control or bankrupt. There's no way. We have a lower taxable value per capita than just about any other community in southeast Michigan. So again, the residents have been heroes. Thankfully, our employees have worked with us in a cooperative manner. It's been a team effort, and we'll continue to give you the best possible service that we can to our residents. In this town, our employees care, and they want to provide outstanding service for our residents. So we are staffed, and we will have sufficient equipment to do the job. But as the years tick by and our revenues remain in a vice, and the state shows no further inclination to provide us with additional funding, sooner or later, we will be seeing financial difficulties again. It is simply unavoidable based on basic math. Now, next year, we will get a little bump in revenue because of all the businesses that are going in now, the new builds, but there simply is not enough vacant land in Hazel Park to make a significant difference, and that is the only way that you can increase your tax base, is by new construction. That's it. Rising property values, and our property values are rising. So those residents who were wise enough to vote for that millage increase, they did themselves a favor. They made an investment in their financial future that's actually paid off for them, because we were seeing double-digit property value increases, and those increases are continuing on that trajectory this year. But that doesn't translate into any more money for us because of the Headley Prop A caps.
Any more discussion? No. Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Civic announcements, public discussion. Anybody up here, civic? Probably.
I have one.
Okay,
Nobody else does.
go ahead.
So it's Memorial Day weekend, right?
Right.
If everybody would notice on Sunday afternoon, at the entertainment tent, there's a band playing called Starcross. I happen to be one of the singers in that band, so I'm inviting everybody to come out. I sing with this band on Sunday mornings at church every Sunday, but we're doing anything from Uncle Cracker to Beatles, Mamas and the Papas, and it'll be a fun few hours. So that's my announcement. Thank you.
Oh, what's the time again for you?
3:30 to 6 on Sunday afternoon.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And Councilman Lucero charge for autographs?
No, those are free, thanks.
And to add one more thing to the Memorial Day events, we are moving the Veterans Memorial Service to the City Hall at 9 a.m. Monday morning. Instead of after the parade, we're going to have it before the parade. So come show your support, give the veterans what they're due.
Oh, and Madam Mayor, I have one more very special announcement. As we all discussed last week, I would request a motion that we formally and officially name as special grand marshals of the City of Hazel Park Memorial Day Parade for 2016, Mr. Larry Burleson and Mrs. Peggy Burleson.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, the Burlesons have epitomized public service in this community for decades. They build almost every handicap ramp that goes up, I think, in southeast Michigan. Larry's a retiree from the United States Navy, served, how many years did he serve? 20 years in the United States Navy Reserves, and his wife Peggy, both of them active in the Lions Club and in community endeavors too numerous to mention. I can't think of two people that deserve this honor more in the city of Hazel Park. Thank you for all you do, Peggy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more civic comments?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Peggy Burleson. I live at 23109 Harding. Thank you very much. I'm very honored, and my husband's very honored. He's not with me here tonight is because he's down at the Tiger Stadium with the veterans, being on the field with Tigers. So they're honoring the veterans down there. Tonight I'm here once again for the Hazel Park Lions golf outing. This was last Saturday. It was very, very successful. It was one of the biggest golf outings that we've had. It is our 16th year of doing this. And for residents, our scholarship money that we earn goes to giving 3 scholarships to high school graduates. It's a $500 scholarship, and it's for 4 years. Our Lions Club also recognizes a male and female undergraduate. So we are very proud that we are able to help our students the way we have. We had 62 golfers this year, which is our largest golf outing. And thanks to the residents, businesses, we ended up with also 60 sponsors. And our sponsoring a hole is $50. And we have cardboard golf balls that we put out onto the golf course the day of our outing with whatever name you want to have on it. So tonight, I would like to present some of our sponsors. First of all, I would like to sponsor the Hazel Park Council. You have been doing this for many years for us, and we appreciate you very, very much. Thank you very much. Also, Mary Jan is also a Lion, and her husband is a Lion, and she and her husband also sponsor a hole for our golf outing. Mr. Tom Salmon, we thank you very much for your sponsor. With your help, we have been very successful, and we're appreciated. Michael Webb, which is also a Lion. Taylor Otto has sponsored a hole for several years, or many years, and we thank you for that. City Attorney Arnold Schiffman, you have been doing this, I don't know how many years, but we thank you very much, and we appreciate you immensely. You do a lot for our city, and Lions appreciate you, along with their residents. Lion Ed Cloverture, we would like to thank you and your wife, Diane, for sponsoring a hole for us.
It's our pleasure.
And you've been doing that. Chief Berner, would you do me the honor of taking this to the Hazel Park Command Officers Association? Absolutely. We appreciate the police department and their support. Chief Story. We would like to thank the Hazel Park Fire Department firefighters, and we also would like to thank the Hazel Park Professional Firefighters Local 414. They sponsor our golf outing, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Last but not least, I have a group here in Hazel Park, and I have many groups, and but because I knew she was going to be here tonight, and she's part of this group, I knew she would accept it from me. And that is Beth Holland, and that is with the Ford Road Community Watch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. We also have the Hazel Park Animal Volunteers that sponsor us. But like I said, we have 60, and these are businesses, individuals, and I would like to thank a special person, and that is Lion Gary Chamberlain, which is the one that puts on this golf outing, and he's done this for 16 years, and he has done a fantastic job. Thank you, each and every one. Keep up all the good work. Anybody wants to sponsor a Lion golf hole for next year, which will be May 20th. I already figured that one out. Give me a call, and we'll see. I'm sorry, Ed, I'm going to take yours off. I don't know, but for anyone, if you can see this, this is what we give to our sponsors. And that the little ball, that is a golf ball, but it's a cardboard one. And like Ed and Diane, they just have their names put on it. This is taken out to the golf course, and all 60 of my sponsors go out at 7:30 in the morning, and they are not picked up until 9 o'clock that Saturday night. So it's something that your sponsorship goes for a whole day, and we golf at Rackham, so it's right here in our vicinity, and it's been used by a lot of people. I thank you all very much. I am very proud of Hazel Park.
Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to say, without the Lions Club in our community, I don't know what would get accomplished. They do so much more going around at different venues around the city. They help out with the fire department, they help out with kids in school, glasses, eye exams. It's amazing, wheelchair ramps, and little things all through the different years that they have accomplished. And I appreciate all of it, and I'm sure the rest of us up here appreciate what you do, and we're part of the Lions Club as well, and we try to participate as much as we can. Thank you.
Okay. Any public discussion? Having none, close civic announcement, public discussion. The consent agenda, 1 through 6.
So move.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor Parisi?
Discussion.
I've got some discussion on this. Consent agenda item 3, on page 1, under general, there are 2 places that the word company appears, and I'm just wondering if that shouldn't be city. Because if it's not going to be city, I wonder what company it is.
That should be city.
Thank you. With that change then, noted. I'm ready to vote now, Mayor Parisi.
Okay.
What an extraordinary catch, Council.
Yo, he always gets this stuff.
You do.
He's good with that.
Do read every word of your packet.
He does, okay. Ready then? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Administrative report.
Yes, Madam Mayor. The administration respectfully requests passage of the lease agreement between the City of Hazel Park and Hazel Park Schools for the use of what was formerly known as Longfellow Elementary School for the purposes of relocating our district court during the renovation work that's scheduled to occur here at City Hall in the coming months. Again, I will remind the residents of Hazel Park, this is being paid for by increased fees for the Hazel Park District Court. No tax dollars are being used for this particular project. And again, we are able to rent this building from the schools for $1 a month. I want to tell you what a difference it has made to have a cooperative arrangement and working relationship with the school district. Since Amy Krupe has taken over as school superintendent, the difference in cooperation is like night and day. It is absolutely a pleasure to deal with them. I've got her cell number, she has my cell number, we share resources, and who benefits from this? The taxpayers of Hazel Park and the community benefit from a cooperative working relationship. I wish her nothing but the best and pledge my help and support to make that district the best district that it can be, because it's just been wonderful to work with her. And like I said, this cooperative relationship we have with her and the current school board, I think it's the best it's been in the city of Hazel Park in 30 or 40 years, really, realistically. It may never have been as good as this in the past. So again, my hat's off to Amy Krupe and to the school board members as well.
Mayor Parisi?
Yes.
Move to approve the lease agreement as recommended by the administration.
Support.
And I have some discussion.
You have discussion?
Yes, on page 2, 7.2, the first sentence, second line actually, there is a phrase that says lesser as additional insured the from, I think it should be form.
Okay. I would say that would be probably an accurate assumption. As I said, not only does Councilman Selman read every word of the packet, he specifically parses every word to make sure that we do not transpose even a single letter. That's with that correction, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We're at,
We're ready to vote, Mayor Parisi.
I'd like to a little discussion on the lease.
Oh, okay.
I think it is important, though it's not in the lease, just because of my experience, that somehow on your communication, the residents should be made aware that the court is in session at a place other than the courthouse. I don't want people to be found in contempt of court or be accused of being late or not showing up because they had no idea that the court is operating out of a school. And I think that there should be communication early on that people will understand there's going to be a period of time in which the court will be operating somewhere other than City Hall. That's my only thoughts.
Yep. We will make sure that we do proper notification. There'll be a big PR campaign that we will undertake to make sure people understand just what's happening with this building and the district court. We do not anticipate relocating any other city offices over there. There is sufficient room to do so. But again, hopefully all we will need to do is relocate court operations, and this will be done while the weather is still warm, the breakthrough of the wall and most of the other stuff, so that we are not required to relocate anything anywhere else. As we all know, Judge Gettert has a plan.
okay. Okay, where are we now? Tabled items? 1 and 2.
I don't have anything to remove from the table at this time unless council wants something removed.
New business?
Update on 326 West Harry.
Yes.
We have the contractor here. Go ahead. Tell us what you've done and what are you asking of us today?
Afternoon, Council. Adam Lenzian of 1334 East George. I was just here to give you an update on the property. The demo process is basically complete, I would say about 90%. We're just waiting on permission from you mainly for ability to pull the permits. And I was wondering on what the results were from the inspector, the structural inspector.
Again, Mr. Campbell is not here. He's taken ill. What I would ask is that as long as we receive a favorable report from the construction engineer, that the applicants be allowed to pull their permits and proceed with the repairs to the home.
You're asking that as an administrative ability?
I'm asking that, right, that you grant me that to go ahead and proceed with this.
I'd so move.
Okay.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
So just to clarify, because I'm new to all these, stuff, we're good Monday morning, I can come in and pull permits and.
Right, as long as you need to meet with Roger, make sure we've got that. As soon as we get that back and that's favorable, we're gonna let you pull permits and start getting that house.
Okay,
Done.
perfect.
Number 2, update, Mr. Klobuchar.
Yeah, you have an update in your packet with respect to, let me find it here in my packet.
Mayor Parisi.
Yes.
Yes, your update on 429 East Hayes. You have it here attached to the agenda today. 429 East Hayes, Larry Rosenberg appeared before council on April 12, 2016. You know what the motion was. Homeowner to complete repairs within 90 days and bring up to code. Failure to do so result in the bond being forfeited. The electrical inspector obtained a rough inspection on 4/29/16 and was partially approved with the following notation. On the final, they need to verify that a 20-amp circuit for the laundry has been installed. Mr. Rosenberg also had a floor leveling inspection scheduled on 5/23/16. The results are not back in the office at this time. The 90-day extension will expire on 7/12/16. 16. We will keep you informed as we receive additional information. Mr. Campbell is ill tonight, so he is not here to provide us with any additional information. All I have is, on that is the information I provided to you that you have before you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
do you, based on the updates, do you foresee any changes in the decisions that we've?
I do not. If we will be meeting second week in June, and we will bring those changes to you.
Thank you.
In terms of new business, Madam Mayor, I do have one thing that I would like to bring up to council. We had, even from council tonight, some complaints about dumpsters being located in front of different homes for inordinate amounts of time. What I would like to bring to you is set a policy for dumpsters, require a fee for dumpsters. If the dumpster is located for longer than the time allotted, that they incur a charge of $100 a week. That could accelerate after that point and even result in the dumpster being impounded. I think that we can no longer allow different contractors to leave these dumpsters in front of homes with very little work being done. Again, it's one thing if there's a substantial project being undertaken and they're working continuously and diligently, but I'm hearing too many stories that contractors are simply dumping dumpsters right next to a home or placing it in the front yard, and then we don't see anybody showing up for a month. So if you're going to put the dumpster there, you better do the work. If you're not going to do the work, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And at some point, we're going to come and collect it for you, and then it's going to cost you even more to pull it out of the impound.
Mayor Parisi,
Yes.
I would ask that we include not just the front and side yards, but anywhere on property.
Anywhere on property.
I have one more item I'd like to bring up under new business.
Excuse me, before you bring that up, I have another question for the administration on this subject. Do you think it would be advisable to put a motion forth that had specific fines with specific times? Or do you think it would be more appropriate to have yourself or the building department in consultation with you look at this on a case-by-case basis?
I would like to, I think the best way to approach this is a little of both. Okay, there are some instances when dumpsters are going to need to be there because for a slightly longer period of time because the job is substantial. But I think the key here is, are they working diligently to try to make something happen and not just leaving the dumpster there and using our city as a place to store that dumpster until they so choose to work on this house. I think that those dumpsters obviously detract from the character and quality of life in the neighborhoods, and nobody wants to look at them. I had one across the street from me for probably 2 months, at least, that had just sat there. So they worked on it for probably, of those 2 months, maybe 2 weeks. So I think that everybody who has a dumpster, again, Jan brought me a complaint on a dumpster just tonight. I saw a complaint on Facebook regarding a dumpster. So I think that everybody needs to understand that you can't just dump a dumpster in Hazel Park. It needs to be there for a purpose. And if you are not actively working on that home, that dumpster needs to go.
So to get back to Councilman Keaton's question, you think that we should have a set amount of time per each specific use?
I think a set amount of time and then create a waiver process that they could approach the administration if there's some circumstances that are special or unique to that situation, that we can grant them some extensions. But I think if they have an understanding that there are boundaries with the placement of those dumpsters from the beginning, that they may be more likely to work in a, you know, a purposeful, directed manner so they get
And you're
this
going to
thing
have
taken care of.
you're going to have legislation for us to look at?
I will try to, given the availability of my building official and my city, my deputy city attorney, which they've been out of the office, if, I hope to at your next meeting, but certainly by July.
Anyways, I have one more thing. I got a nice letter from a lady in the mail. I'm sure the rest of you did too, and I got a few more complaints in the last few days about people putting their garbage out on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think we need to tighten that up. Can we get back to having maybe one code enforcement officer to have Monday off and work Tuesday through Saturday and kind of catch the realm of this and let people know that you can't do this?
Right now, Councilman, we are down one code officer,
Yeah.
so we are actively searching to hire one. I cannot promise you that can give you that coverage at this time.
The issue is, please do not put your garbage out until Sunday. 24 hours before the pickup is the rule, is the ordinance. We would like to have some compliance on that ordinance. It's a little hard for us to enforce on the weekends, but maybe we can look at a weekend individual to at least let people know, if they don't want to be cooperative, then they get a ticket. I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah, we are short-staffed down there. In fact, we may even be pulling Justin a little bit out of animal control to do grass and weeds.
It's different if you're doing a complete cleanup out of your house, maybe clean your basement out or something, or your garage, and you're putting the big items out, but we're talking actual food garbage.
No,
Food garbage feeds rats. That's the issue.
right, some of this
It's not like you're putting furniture out. You know.
it's just laziness and strange.
I went down the street the other day and I saw diapers. Two days out before the garbage, someone had diapers in the bag and it got ripped open. So there was diapers all over the front yard.
That's disgusting.
So,
Yeah, and again, trash should be in trash cans. Okay, you should not just take your garbage to the front in bags. It's not appropriate.
sorry, I do take my bags to the curb, but they're in cans till the day I take them out. So, I'm sorry.
Ooh, you're
Ooh,
in
yeah.
trouble.
Every time I buy cans, they get destroyed.
Mayor Parisi, I confess I put my trash out in one bag
Ooh,
as
you're
well.
in trouble
But-
too.
But before it goes to the curb, there are about 3 tablespoons of ammonia that go into the bag, and no critter goes near it.
They have this.
Could you make that face again, Mayor Parisi?
Anyways, we're looking at single stream to bring up that issue. That's why I brought it up. Single stream now, what, next year, Mr. Lucero?
In 17.
17?
Recycling, still not the trash.
Councilman, did you want to also confess to putting your garbage out in bags without,
This is confessional.
okay.
I complained about my garbage cans, how beat up the 35-gallon cans were. And one of those 90-gallon dumpsters
The
from
other-
Tringali appeared in my driveway.
Right.
If people want to buy those, is it available for people to buy the cans from Tringali?
I believe they, I don't know what the situation is. 'Cause if we switch vendors,
Yeah.
Yeah, we may.
go bye-bye.
Right.
Probably that's their property. But.
Okay.
Mayor Parisi?
Yes.
Also under new business, some time ago, there was discussion of the county planning department coming to Hazel Park and putting on a presentation to introduce the boards and commissions and any interested citizens into the One Stop Ready program. And I don't want us to forget about that. That is a fine thing.
I will have Jeff contact the county and see if they can send a speaker down.
Okay.
And then what we could do is invite them all to a meeting. We'll invite our zoning board, planning commission, DDA, and any other boards and commissions you think it might be worthwhile to have in attendance.
Right.
And then one other thing. With your permission, I would like to try to schedule a town meeting sometime in June so that we can invite people, maybe to the rec center, one of our schools, so we can talk about different issues that are on the ballot in August here in the city of Hazel Park. Most important of which is the SMORSA election. All 3 communities, Hazel Park, East Point, and the city of Wayne, must vote affirmatively to allow the city of Wayne to join SMORSA. There is no downside for us to allow them to join SMORSA. If they join SMORSA, just like Hazel Park and just like East Point, the city of Wayne will keep the revenues that they generate in the city of Wayne. This will not cost the city of Hazel Park anything. The city of Hazel Park will continue to levy 14 mills. The city of East Point will continue to levy 14 mills. And the city of Wayne will now be able to levy those mills. If we do not vote yes to approve this, the city of Wayne will not be able to join, and the city of Wayne will go bankrupt. So again, it makes no sense for us to not pass this and not assist our sister city. I would hope that the voters in Wayne, if our positions were reversed, would obviously vote yes to save us. So it's not going to affect what our residents pay at all, but it will allow Wayne to join SMORSA. And the library, yes,
Will we have to change the name of SMORSA to include?
we are not changing the name of SMORSA.
Just leave it, yeah, just leave it.
Just call it Morse.
This isn't the, yeah, more SMORSA.
Well, you know, it could, you know, throwing a W in there might schmores, you know, we got the Polish stuff going on.
Councilman, I think you're overthinking this.
Are you hungry? Like shawarma?
You are, yes, you must be hungry. Shawarma.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
the question for Arnie, let me make sure that that fine piece of legislation that prevented elected officials and municipalities from talking about ballot issues has been stayed by a court?
I can't answer the yes, but I'm sure nobody's paying any attention to that legislation right now.
So they're not gonna have a state paddy wagon
know
come
that
and pick us
any
all
judge-
up at
It,
town hall meeting?
there, what happened was there was a consent agreement reached between the Secretary of State and the other parties that there will be no enforcement of that particular piece of legislation, allowing it to die the death that it so richly deserved, since it was nothing short of a grossly unconstitutional, ridiculous attack on the free speech rights of local public officials in the state of Michigan to educate their constituents about important issues. One of the worst pieces of crap I have ever seen in my life.
It's a technical municipal term.
Piece of crap is a technical municipal term.
Thank you.
Mr. Barner, come on.
To address your concern about people putting garbage out early and not having the enforcement capacity to do it with the code officers, obviously, it's not something that's high priority on the police department's list. However, we can enforce these ordinances just as well as anybody else. So if you have a person who is a chronic abuser or an extreme situation where they put out massive amounts of garbage, you know, before Sunday, call the front desk. You know, we're not going to be there with a 2-minute response time, but we'll get there and address the situation.
And Madam Mayor, I actually have done that on several occasions when we've got complaints about garbage out on a Saturday, and the police have gone out. So again, it's, like I said, it's not a high priority for them, and they will get to it when they can get to it, but they will go out and take that enforcement action. And thank you for the willingness of your department to assist with code enforcement, Chief.
We all work together at this, sir.
Thank you.
I'll just wait for the department heads. I think we're next.
You're next.
Okay. Obviously, we have a big event this weekend, the Memorial Day Carnival, and on Monday. I would just ask that everybody, you know, enjoy yourself, have a good time. Please drink responsibly, monitor your children and young adults. They seem to be the ones that cause us the most problems. We'll obviously have extra patrols and officers on duty over there, along with auxiliaries and MCSU staff. So, you know, if you see a problem, you know, obviously bring it to the attention of someone over there or call the front desk. Like I said, we want everybody to have a good time, but we want everyone to have a safe time as well. One last thing, Councilman LaCura, I was thinking of you when this came across my desk today. Michigan has, the Office of Highway Safety Planning has finally come out with their 2015 stats for fatalities. in Michigan. They were up about 10% last year, from 876 in 2014 to 963 in 2015. The largest increase among fatalities, percentage-wise, was bicyclist fatalities, which is up 57%. So that's significant, and we always encourage motorists, bicyclists, pedestrians, please be aware of your surroundings, pay attention to other people, because a lot of them aren't paying attention to what's going on. So with that being said, I put some flyers out here. They're going to come out with some more in-depth stats over the next couple of months. This is just preliminary information, but if anybody has any questions or wants more information, you can always see me. I have lots of stats on everything. So.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, and everybody have a great time this weekend.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you.
You too, Chief.
Communication from department heads, I think it's probably done. Anything else, Chief? Okay. All right, City Manager, Mr. Cloak.
Before I do my comments, I'm fortunate this year to have two very bright interns in my office. I have one here in attendance tonight. I will try to get the other one to a council meeting before he returns to school. Sean, did you want to come up and introduce yourself for a split second? Here?
Hi, I'm Sean Lehman. I'm a student at Wayne State University. I'm very grateful to Ed for the opportunity, and Mike Webb as well, who introduced us. And excited to be part of such a dynamic city right now.
Glad to have you.
What's your major in for your?
Right now, I'm kind of spending time with both education and urban planning.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've,
Thank you, Sean.
we've been very successful and
Yeah.
happy with the interns we received,
Welcome to
especially
Hazel
with Wayne
Park.
State.
Right.
No, we have had some outstanding interns that have participated with the city of Hazel Park that have gone on to do just some fantastic things. So,
Actually, Sean was one of my customers with his fiance, and we got talking about his education background. He's looking for a job. I said, hey, we need some help at the city. You got a good background. Let's see what we can maybe utilize you for a part-time use.
bright young man, and I'll bring Jared Gajos hopefully to the next meeting as well. Again, like I said, a couple of bright young men. We plan to get some good work out of them this summer and get some great things done. And our interns, as you said, have gone on to do great things.
We got to try to use our resources where we can, and hopefully they can make a difference for the future of the world. That's what it's about.
Again, I guess I'll start. Memorial Day festivities. Have a good time, everyone. Obviously, this is one of the big parties that we have here in the city of Hazel Park, and I really enjoy working for the city of Hazel Park during the Memorial Day festivities because it's such a good time to go and you get a chance to connect with residents, meet folks that you haven't seen in a few years, and it's just a really good time. Please enjoy yourselves responsibly. Parents, keep an eye on your children. Everybody have a good time. I've already made my speech about Michigan's system of municipal finance being fundamentally broken, but I just had to throw that in there one more time because I like saying it. Have a good night.
Arnie?
The comments have already been made as it relates to Peggy and her husband and being honored in the parade. And I've been around a long time, and it is utterly amazing to see how they have the Lions Club that has existed this long and continues to be successful. And it just is an example of what leadership does. So, Peggy, you should reach behind you and pat yourself on the back. That's what you should do. Nothing further.
Yeah, without Larry and Peggy, we would not be able to have a beer tent. I mean, they literally camp out there and run that thing and do just a great job. So we really are so lucky to have you. And tell Larry too. Larry already knew. He didn't tell you, obviously, that you guys were going to be special grand marshals. I did tell him on Friday. So.
Councilman Selman?
And again, just to reiterate what I think it was Mike Webb who said, remember, we're laying the wreath at 9 o'clock in the morning at City Hall here at our memorial. So everyone's invited to see that process, and I would encourage everyone to come out and honor the men and women who serve this country.
Council Selman, you.
Thank you, Mayor Parisi. As regards to Memorial Day, I am very pleased that we are using the area by City Hall for the serious part of the ceremonies. We won't have the noise of the carnival behind us, and it will be a much more suitable and sober experience. And I'm really pleased that the Memorial Day Committee decided to do that. I have a whole realm and list of things that I could say, but I think people might want to go home and watch the Tigers. So I'm just going to say that if you love somebody, tell them so, and if you have children, hug them every day and tell them you love them. Thank you.
Councilman Webb.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for coming out this evening. We had a lot to discuss. The budget is always something that we go over for a few weeks and months before we get to this point. We had a lot of things to look at and try to balance up. Lacey Christensen is our treasurer here, and she does a wonderful job. Finance director.
Outstanding.
She does a wonderful job for us and lays it out to us where it can be better understood and show us what direction we need to stay in to hold the city down to a financial, without having financial problems. We've got a lot of new growth and expansion around the city, and it's exciting to watch it go on. Even the 8 Mile and DeQuinder corridor is becoming a real nice-looking area at this point, and hopefully we can get that corner of that city as well as like looking as good as the north end and as well as downtown. And we're trying to focus on all areas. The new innovation of resources of developers coming in is as exciting as can be. We haven't seen this kind of growth and enthusiasm in our community in probably 25 years, at least that I know of. And thanks to our good management and direction of our community development department, they're actually trying to put things in place where we can actually have some people respond and come in with different ideas and different venues of the city. We have different retail stores looking at us right now, and it's making a big difference. Smaller mom and pop stores as well. Thank you, and enjoy the weekend safely.
Councilman Lucuro.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I again would like to thank Larry and Peggy Burleson for all they do, and the Lions Club. We're all Lions up here. The refreshment tent on the Memorial Day weekend is the largest fundraiser for the Lions Club. So, again, be responsible. I wanted to also thank Dr. Krupe for the fine working relationship we have. It's a breath of fresh air. Looking forward for it to bear more fruit. The article, thank you, Chief Barner, for the article on the bicyclist deaths, up 57%. But another statistic that was interesting is pedestrian fatalities are up 15%. I mean, everything was up. Cell phone crashes are up, related crashes up 13%, stuff like this. So please watch out for the bicyclists. But bicyclists, you are supposed to have a light on your vehicle, on your bike at night. And I've got one that flashes like a strobe on the back, one on the front. It's actually rechargeable with a USB port, so they're available. But $60 or $70.
And also, bicyclists are supposed to obey all traffic laws. And technically, although we don't enforce this with small children who should be on the sidewalk when they ride their bicycles, technically bicyclists should not be riding on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Again, we're lax in enforcing that, but if you run into a car on a street, usually this is the bicyclist's fault, not the car. Bicyclists are not pedestrians. They do not have the same rights as pedestrians.
I've driven up John R. It's dangerous to ride along the curb in the
It is.
sometimes. It's tough. So
That's why we, like I said, that's why we don't usually specifically enforce that, but it is up to the bicyclist to remember that they are not a pedestrian.
I also want to thank Councilman Selman for his, always catching the little nuances, the proofreading excellence.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. And again, encourage everybody to support the s'mores a millage. On our budget, there was an article in the Madison Park Daily. I don't know, we get so many things to read sometimes, but Hazel Park's budget only in this article was increased less than 1%. All the other cities around us were increasing 4 and 5%.
The revenues from property taxes.
Okay.
That's what that was. And again, because we haven't fully realized the additional growth that we've done this year, all we got was that fraction of a percentage point because that's all the rate of inflation was. So while your values went up double digits, if you're a homeowner, we're not reaping any additional values. Your taxes only went up a scant little bit.
As you have
you can
said
see-
before, Mr. Klobuchar, you failed, you didn't do it today, but we squeeze the nickel until the buffalo screams.
You guys are afraid.
Thank you for everybody coming out, and have a great Memorial Day weekend, and see you Sunday afternoon.
Politically correct phrase.
Mayor Pro Tem Keaton.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Memorial Day Grand Marshals, couldn't have selected anyone better. It's sort of a unique situation. You have volunteerism and military service all wrapped into one, and I think it was a very excellent choice that we've made. Last year, I think the memorial activities, they estimated more than 17,000 people attended the memorial festivities last year.
Last year, we broke all records for attendance and revenues generated. So I'm hopeful this year that we will continue to break records. All we need is a little bit of help from the weatherman.
Yeah,
It's not going to rain.
a lot of help from the weatherman.
No, the weatherman is saying, do not cancel your outdoor plans. All showers, if they occur, will only be intermittent. So come on out and have a good time at the Hazel Park Memorial Day Festival.
Yes. And thank you all for coming out and participating in the democratic process. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Bring your family and friend, and without our veterans, we would not have a country. Thank you.
Do we need an exec session?
There's one sale of property issue, but since I don't have a specific purchase agreement to talk about or a price that they're in.
Motion to adjourn.
I can simply, before you adjourn, I do want to make one, and I can put that off until June. I can poll you all for your thoughts and then negotiate it and bring you a final next week. One thing I want to say before we resign, I'm not going anywhere yet, before we adjourn, is that I want to recognize Kayla Roney from the Hazel Park Promise Zone for being chosen as one of Crane's 20 in their 20s. I've worked extensively with this outstanding young lady since we named her executive director of the Promise Zone. It's great to watch her grow. She has so much potential. I can't wait to see how far she goes in government or education, because she is just one of the most talented young people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And I can't think of anybody that more richly deserves that honor. That's a huge honor for Hazel Park Schools and a huge honor for our entire community that Kayla received that. That's a very big deal to be named one of 20 in your 20s Cranes. So congratulations, Kayla Roney Smith.
We're already adjourned.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Take care.